Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Modern Engineers. Today's episode is going to be all about getting these ships ready for sea. So, I have a little bit of a confession to make. Aside from the Terror, which is the one I'm standing on right now, none of these ships are actually capable of going to sea or defending themselves, which is kind of why I've been hesitating on getting Ares at War working again. I've been working on it, but I haven't been working on it diligently. The reason is just, well, I am afraid to turn it on and then the AI just starts bombing the crap out of me and none of my ships are actually ready. So, we're going to try and get our numbers back up, and then we're going to launch a new operation, Operation Group Sail. The reason for it is because, well, I want to get these ships out to sea, and it's been a while, and I'm probably a little rusty. And I want to make sure that we can get these ships out and capable of doing what, well, they're supposed to be capable of doing. And that means we're going to start with, well, Erebus. We're going to get her out of dry dock. So for those of you who need a little bit of a refresher, don't feel bad. Erebus wasn't even mentioned until episode 3 and hasn't been mentioned since. First, just a little bit of context. Erebus is the second in class when it comes to the Terror class. So you got Terror and you got Erebus. Erebus was built second, her keel was laid. Not really much all that different from Terror, aside from she's just slightly newer. The plan for the Terror class is quite simple, to have at least 3 ships to do a deployment maintenance phase rotation, which is one ship does deployment, one ship does maintenance phase, and the last ship is in a layup phase where it's being refitted while the rest of the ships are doing most of the work. The ship in the second phase can get underway really rapidly and quickly. It's just, in port, protecting the port. However, Erebus was on her first deployment to go and protect a port in the last save file. On her way there, she encountered an enemy ship in contested waters and received an anti-ship missile that struck against her side and put a hole in her. Before the save file transition, she was put into dry dock, which can be pictured here. This was obviously before I was recording. However, during the save file transition and moving into recording phase, you all might remember her from episode 3 when she was being towed in, literally still on the blocks. I have been kind of working on her in the background, not really something I felt worth recording. It was just some minor hull work, patching, getting the ship kind of somewhat ship shape again. And I feel like it's gotten to the point where we need to get her going again. So let's get her going again. Let's try and see if we can get her into this operation, because the plan for the operation is pretty simple. We're going to be putting as many ships and as many assets at sea as possible, and we're going to try and see if we can find the bugs and trying to get the ships working together. The reason for this is because, well, I'm nowhere near a lithium deposit, and unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to encounter the AI eventually. And I'm working on another attempt to try and get a different server to try and host this session in order to be able to run Ares at War properly. Still in the talks, still in the works. I'm not sure it's going to work out that well, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're going to pop over to Terra here with the clip camera here. All right, this thing here is part of FleetLink. It's a system I've been working on, and unfortunately, it's a little bit... this camera's really jittery. It's a little bit... it goes what goes here, okay? This was taken out when the missile struck. It's midships, right above combat. Now, the AI modules are stock in-game AI modules, and the idea is that this component will... we're going to start with this one here. I need the move block, and then the remote control goes behind it. But the whole point of this system is that the ship can be able to autonomously sail. Okay, that's not fitting. In formation with other ships. The idea is that it'll basically just stay in formation. Now, I've not gotten this section of the ship to work. However, a lot of people have pointed out online that this is how to do it. So hopefully we'll be able to test this on the next fleet test. I mean, group sale, the Operation Group Sale. We'll be able to test this. Now, this defensive module and these aggressor modules, well, they're I haven't tested these. I haven't played with these, and I'm still trying to figure out the settings of these, but it's supposed to be that I can assign an area with the ship and it'll defend or attack. And that's kind of the idea for these AI modules. Now, the other parts of Fleet Link include data sharing, messaging, receiving and sending orders. Now, why won't you fit here? Oh, I know what's going on. Yeah, the subgrid for the radio room is all fucked. Okay, cool. We're just gonna reset it. See, yeah, that's it. Okay, it looks like the missile knocked the grid out of alignment, so we'll have to readjust the grid. Could have happened when the ship lost power. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo the alignment, but that's okay. We'll still put all the modules in here. Gonna need some computers. Okay, so got the parts I needed for the remote control, so we're gonna put that in here. And this is for basic pathfinding, obviously. I can't get in and out of port without pathfinding. Oh yeah, that is way off. We're gonna definitely have to realign this. That's simple. First, we're gonna have to make sure that we don't get the center block. Get there, just view the rotor, and then we're just gonna turn it on and rotate it until it lines up. Now this room still needs to get painted, but that'll be a different day's problem. I'll figure that out later. There we go. Everything's lined up. Really should secure these grids, but that's, again, future me's problem. Now, we've got some of the units in here. Did explain in the last video, a tour video, what those components were. Not much, but we'll get on. All right, I need some advanced computers to build these things, so I'm gonna get some silicon wafers and plastic. That's a hard sell. Plastic's very rare, but we'll get it. Okay, so those components are welded up. Now we're going to do a pressure test. Most of combat is still messed up, but we're not going to be operating from combat, so we'll leave that for a future update for this ship. Okay, cool, pressure. And it seems like we can start pressurizing the rest of the ship and get ready for float out. That'll be fun. Yeah, I think we're ready. Wait a second. What is this? Why no pressure? Oh. It seems that this section was in the middle of being repaired. Whoops. I guess I'll go get some materials to not mess this up. Alright, so thin armor here because it's under the waterline. Most of the impacts won't really be all that damaging. This section was cut out to be replaced just to reduce the cost and armor components. Oh, we're going to have to get that piece. Also was installing the new generator. This one produces 5 more megawatts than the last one, so it's a good standby generator. Also, you need the generator to start the ship, unfortunately, because it's gas turbines, which means that you need the hydrogen systems running in before the engine can start. All right, we got to get this part here real quick. Grab this. Right there. Cool. And now we'll repaint. We're not going to do battered. It's a clean armor for Erebus. There it is. Well, it's repainted. And now we go back to sealing the ship. Okay, post-inspection is good. Everything's working, so we're gonna go grab the tug and get the ship ready to be pulled out of the dry dock today. In the meantime, I'm gonna set this to recharge. Here's a top tip for you. When it's time to undock, lock this one. Just trust me on that. Just turn it off. That'll lock it so that when you unlock the mags, you don't accidentally unlock all of them and the ship just tips over and falls over. So if you go to grab this dry dock in the workshop, sometimes the parking brake releases and the ship just falls over. So it's good to have not only more than one point of contact for your mag plates, but also just really good idea to keep the ship locked at all times when you're getting ready to either rise the ship or lower the ship. You don't want it tipping over. All right, now that we're in the water and all the propellers are definitely in the water now, it's time to turn them on so that we can move this dry dock backwards. Oh wait, we're tipping. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So this dry dock has a stabilization script that sometimes turns off when you're locked for a long time. So just run that before or after. It should stabilize right up. Now, the up thrusters you want to leave alone, or at least just leave them on for when you're undocking. Next, you want to turn on all your drive thrusters, or just all thrusters in general. Probably was a better idea at the start, but too late now. Basically, you want to be able to maneuver this to a safe area so that when you lower it, you're not just touching seabed. Alright, now that we're moving, let's do that. Let's move it to a safe area. Alright, this should be pretty far enough. I just want it safe enough that we can actually lower the ship without hitting the seabed. You can see it's redlining every now and then. It's just a poor engine design, unfortunately. I did not supplement for all of the power that all those thrusters will need. I'll just have to do a refit on these dry docks in the future. Luckily, we have bigger dry docks to be able to do that. Alright, while it's zeroing out its thrust, we're going to go to the tug here. And... ooh, went too fast. We're going to go to the tug here and detach, because we don't want to be attached when we start lowering the ship. You do want the tug close, though, because that's what's going to pull it out of the dock. You don't want to have your main engines on the ship to pull it out, because you might damage the ship or you might damage the dock. You just want to take this nice and slow. Alright, we're pretty much ready. So, the next step, oh yeah, unlock this. That's going to be the only mag lock that's still attached, see? And this is exactly why we did that. Okay, we're ready. So, open this menu, and just type up, and then just turn off the few up thrusters at a time. Not all of them at the same time. Don't do that. Just turn off a few of them at the same time. And you want to do that so that the ship just slowly starts lowering, and I usually stop it at the black line on the side of the dry dock, because that's more than enough. And take your time. It will be slow. It's a slow process. See, it's just started. All right, we're going to speed this up, but I'll show you. Okay, we're getting close. We have still a little bit of white exposed, but that's alright. I'm going to go ahead and hop out here, and I am going to go aboard the Erebus and turn on her generator. Because right now she's being supported by the dry dock, right? Because her stuff was out of the water. Now that it's in the water, we're actually taking in seawater now. We can go ahead and turn on her generator. There it is. Set to on, and now it should. I didn't map its exhaust system. Okay, so we're just going to turn the plume on too. Okay, now it should look like it's working. Yep, cool. And I can hear it running. There, we're at least generating 10 megawatts now for the ship, so that when we disconnect, we won't lose power to the ship. And obviously, you can see we still got some work to do, but this is at least just to get it out of this dry dock. Now, I think should be a lot closer now. No, still got a little bit more to go. So we're going to just start turning off thrusters individually. I usually do about 4 at a time, but as I get closer, I turn off more 1 at a time. It should get pretty close, and then we'll grab the tug and lock the tug to the ship, and then pull her back out. Nice and slow. Now, the ship has the same stabilization system as the dry dock, so just be careful. It might try to tip on you, so just make sure that you disconnect pretty quickly and get the ship stabilized as quickly as possible. That should be close enough. We're right on the money for the water line. That's actually really well aligned. All right, so I'm gonna go grab this tug here and get ready to pull the ship out of the dry dock. Connected, and now all we have to do is pull the boat out, but first we gotta unlock our keel block. Just go down over here, drop into the water. Just a little bit right here. There it is. And disconnect, and just like that, she's underway, under her own power. Now we gotta pull her out. Now, before I forget, we're going to have to fly over and lift the dock while we're getting the ship repositioned. Because the second we disconnect with the tug, it's going to start wanting to adjust to its last known position, which is going to need to be reset. But once we lift this dock back up, I'll just set it to the up position. Basically, we're just going to turn on all the thrusters and it should be good to go. But first you're going to want to make sure that when you push it in the up position, it doesn't damage itself. So you just want some good clearance. You already see it starting to come up. And on our way back, we're going to turn on her nav lights. I know I'm the only one on this server, but you know what? It doesn't hurt to be prepared. Now, we can disconnect and reconnect on the side. Disconnect. And you can see she's starting to tip into a random direction. I'm not sure why on prolonged periods that the gyroscope alignment system decides that it wants to tip over. It's fine, it never really tips super hard, but you do have to go back aboard and realign the script. I was going to have a timer block that reset it automatically, but I ran into issues with it constantly turning it on and off, and that just wasn't feasible. But that's simple fix. You just find the program block and reset it. So we're going to go here. I didn't label it in this one, so we're going to go here. I'm going to go whichever one has the green display. I should definitely relabel it. It's not this one. Yep, this isn't the one. There it is, green display. There it goes. And now you can see the ship is starting to stabilize. Now the trick is going to be towing her to her berth. And from there, we'll continue the repairs and get her ready for her underway for the group sail. We're going to take it nice and slow, but you know what? That's fine by me. Slow and steady wins the race. Well, in this case, keeps the battleship from sinking. Now we're connected, and now it's just a long, slow process. And that should wrap it about up. Now, most of the work still needs to be completed. Her pilot house needs some work. She's got some damage to her mast. Basically, some minor ifs and buts that need to be addressed before she gets underway. But some of it's cosmetic, some of it isn't. I'm not sure if I'll record it. It's most likely going to get just done on an off record stream, or not a stream, but basically it'll probably be done on my own time to try and just get the ship on schedule. Because if I record and edit, it'll probably not get on schedule. So, she's almost done. Next episode, we're going to focus on Thunder, the battleship. She is basically ready for sea trials. So we got some minor things left to do on that, like food and onload ammunition. So I'll probably get her ready off screen here and see you all on the next one and get her doing some live fire exercises. But in the meantime, hope you all liked it. Comment below, join my Discord. You know the things. I'll see you all in the next one.